Thanks for joining me on another episode of Light and Darkness. Today we will be talking about His power, highlighting the power of God, and we'll be focusing on Daniel 2:20 to 22, where it says, "Praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are His. He changes times and seasons. He disposes kings and raises up others. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in the darkness, and light dwells with Him." And a common thread within this scripture, it says He. He does this, not I. He does this, not I. He does this and that, not I. And so the power is whose? The power is not mine. The power belongs to Him. The wisdom belongs to Him. It has belonged to Him. It does belong to Him. And it always will belong to Him. And so what I'd like to focus on is where it says, "And light dwells with Him." And light dwells with Him. We're talking about light and darkness. We talk about our condition as humanity. We talk about His promise, our choice, His warning, His power, our limitations, and ultimately His sovereignty. And so when it says, "And light dwells with Him," when I read that, it tells me that He has something that I don't have. He has something that I wish I had. He has something that I need to have. And so I need to chase after Him because it's His power that I have needed, that I do need, and that I always will need for the remainder of my life. And only He has it. I don't have it unless I abide with Him. And so, but it starts with, "Praise be to the name of God forever and ever. Wisdom and power are His." Well, the context of this scripture is what? It's when King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. He had a very complex, complicated dream, and all of his interpreters and sorcerers and those who he considered wisest in his entire kingdom could not interpret for him. And this dream troubled him. I mean, he's the king of this entire nation back in the day. And he finally called upon Daniel. And Daniel, when he told Daniel his dream, the first thing that Daniel did was what? He didn't rush to interpret the dream. The first thing that Daniel said was, "Praise be to the name of God forever and ever." So he's giving glory, honor, and praise to his Creator, who's going to give him the power to interpret the dream of this king. And then he interprets the dream, and then the story continues. But he starts with, "Praise be to the name of God forever and ever." So it's not just forever, but it's forever and ever. So it confirms that God is God, and praise be to His name forever and ever. And it says wisdom and power are His. And when it says He gives wisdom to the wise, well, the first question that I want to ask is, who can give wisdom to the wise? Well, who can give wisdom at all? It's somebody who has wisdom. A foolish person cannot give wisdom because that person is foolish, right? So the first aspect that I see it is that a wise person, a wise God, and with wisdom comes power. So a powerful God or a wise God gives wisdom. And who does He give wisdom to? It doesn't say He gives wisdom to everybody. It doesn't say that He gives wisdom to the foolish. It doesn't say that He gives wisdom to the lukewarm. It says He gives wisdom to the wise. And so He's breaking it into two camps, or He's breaking it into two categories, the wise and the unwise. And the more that He blesses the wise with this wisdom, the more that He blesses the wise with this treasure and this jewel of the wisdom of God, so it creates a separation between the wise and the unwise. And as the wise continue to get wiser, as a default or as a byproduct, the unwise or the foolish continue to get more foolish or more unwise in relation. So there's no in between. And it says that He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. And of course, the wise, to become wise, I think that we have to seek after wisdom, and we have to want to be wise. And so we tap into that wisdom, and we fully receive it, and we fully appreciate it, and we fully rely on it, and we fully trust the origin of that wisdom. But the foolish will always exist. The foolish will never tap into that. And if really wisdom was, it's interesting because it's so easily accessible to a certain degree, and it's free. We talk about grace, but the question is, why isn't everybody wise then? Why doesn't everybody tap into that? Why doesn't everybody reach out for that wisdom, that source, that jewel? Well, it's because the foolish will always be foolish. That's the mentality, and that's why God created foolishness and why God created wisdom. And so, but it's hope, and it's a chance, and it's an opportunity for those of us who wish and who seek after wisdom more than anything to tap into that and to really partner with the source of wisdom, which is God himself. And then it says, the following, it says, he reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in the darkness. So if we look at the second verse, it says, he knows what lies in the darkness. Well, in order to know what lies in the darkness, you have to be outside of the darkness. If this room is pitch black, how can I see that I'm in darkness? All I see is darkness. But if I'm outside of the darkness, then I can see. I have something to compare it with. I have the light and I have the darkness. And so it says, he knows what lies in the darkness. So the very fact that he knows what lies in darkness tells me that he's experienced it, or he's tasted it, or he's been there, or he created it. But it says he knows what lies in the darkness, in the deep darkness. And then the sentence, this is a confirmation for the previous sentence, where it says he reveals deep and hidden things. And the only way to know about these deep and hidden things, the only way to have the wisdom to understand the depth of these hidden things, is to be outside of the darkness, to be able to look into what's going on, to be able to look into the depth of the darkness in order to reveal and to compare and to contrast and to separate. And so the final question that I want to leave you with is, what do we need that he has? Whether I am wise or I'm foolish, I believe that I'm an accurate representation of more on the foolish side than the wise side. But I strive for attaining the wisdom of God. I strive for keeping on that side. But because of the pressures of this world, the demands of this society, the tensions and the constrictions of my generation, I'm pulled between the wisdom of God and the foolishness of this world. And so I'm entangled. But what do I need that he has? I need his wisdom. I need the jewels of only his wisdom, which is a completely separate matter than the wisdom of this world. And I should try to separate myself from the wisdom of this world and separate myself from the darkness of this world to keep chasing after him. So the question for you and I today is, what is it that I need that he has? Yes, I need wisdom, but what comes with wisdom? Why do I need that wisdom? Why do you need that wisdom? Can you think of a few things in your life where wisdom would help you, where wisdom would replace some of the foolishness that's in your life and that's in my life, where wisdom would create a more purpose-driven life, a more fulfilling life during our time here together? So what is it that we need that he has? And by asking that question, that very question, we're confirming or we're stamping that he has something that I don't have. He has something that I want. He has something that I have needed, that I do need today, and that I always will need for the rest of my life. And so his power is an important area where we should always strive to tap into, because why? It says the light dwells with him. It's within him. And because it's within him, it comes out of him. It flows out of him to all those who seek it, to all those who want it, to all those who strive for it and drop everything else to go and chase after it, and he will give abundantly. Why? Because it's his power, his authority, his light. He created it. He can give to those who want to receive it. And so his power is our highlight today. I thank you for joining me. And our next area where we will be looking into is our limitations. But I just want to leave you with this final note that We talked about his power, and we can go on and on for I think all of creation can talk about his power, but we'll never understand the magnitude of his power. And so these episodes are really an opportunity, a starting point to try to see how they apply to our individual lives, and not necessarily to look at it in isolation and try to come with conclusions based on this short episode, but really try to apply it to how it looks in the context of all other 6 episodes, 7 episodes total, and then also how it applies to our personal lives in order to make use of it, or in order to get the maximum benefit from it here in this generation, and also then to share with other people how to tap into that power. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, you've been watching Light or Darkness on ABN.
You are watching ABN.